Hello, hey, it's Matt Bauer here with Nate Brewer and Ian Malesiewski for 4002 and U. Ian Malesiewski represents the DefIANt Scholars Program. Ian went to school with my son, Matthew Bauer. Ian, tell us a little bit about yourself and about the DefIANt Scholar Program, and thank you for being involved with us.
Yeah, so thanks for having me, and thanks for us supporting the DefIANt Scholars Program. My name is Ian Malesiewski, and I'm currently a junior at the University of Miami. I am studying neuroscience, and I was a 2018 graduate of Cathedral Prep. As Matt mentioned, I went to high school with Matty Bowe, and we, grew up competing against each other. I went to Northeast grade school, so I've known him for a really long time. Unfortunately, my sophomore year of high school, I suffered a traumatic spinal cord injury, and I broke my neck while wrestling at the Cadet World Team Trials. This injury left me paralyzed from the neck down, and I currently use a power wheelchair to navigate life as a college student. And with that being said, since my injury, I've been trying to be a disability advocate and advocate for the spinal cord injury community in particular. And I've always wanted to get back to the Erie community just because after I was originally injured, Erie kind of rallied around me and really supported me through my transition back into high school and my transition to college. So with that being said, I started the DefIANt Scholars Program, which is a scholarship fund partnered with the Erie Community Foundation to help high school students and individuals living with disabilities pursue a higher education.
Cool, and I notice in the word DefIANt, you kind of guys got some letters capitalized that you wouldn't normally capitalize. Is there a reason for that?
Yeah, so actually in the word DefIANt, it has the letters IAN, and those are bolded and capitalized. After I got injured, a prep mom actually made bracelets, and it's a funny story. She made these DefIANt bracelets and gave them to my mom, my brother, and we're like, oh, that's random, the word DefIANt. And like 8 months later, we looked at the bracelets and saw that Ian in the bracelet was bolded. So we didn't even realize that, but yeah, that's kind of the meaning behind the DefIANt Scholars name.
Yeah, I had to take a double take because I have a hard time reading to begin with. So then you really confuse me when you start capitalizing letters in the middle of a word. Okay.
Yeah.
So DefIANt will be the charity for November for 4002 and U. So we give a monthly donation of $1,000. What would that money go to? How do you guys use your donations?
Yeah, so that'll go directly to helping provide scholarships for local students that want to go to college. Right now, we ran a little fundraising event throughout the month of October, and really we've been just trying to raise awareness and raise funds. And all 100% of the funds raised will go directly to local students that are trying to pursue a higher education with either a physical or an intellectual disability. So the donation made by 4002 and U is going to be monumental and really change someone with a disability's life and help them, attend college.
What do you find is the biggest barrier or the biggest hurdle with somebody with a disability to go to school? Like what should we know that people like struggle with?
Well, I think the biggest thing is just, living with a disability, it's beyond expensive. You have assistive technology you have to purchase, you have healthcare equipment you have to purchase, and those things add up. And that's the main reason I wanted to start DefIANt Scholars, just because, I know how expensive it can be to go to college, and little scholarships here and there can really, change someone's life and allow them to go to school. So I would say the biggest roadblock are the expenses, because they really add up, whether it's nursing care, assistive technology, as I mentioned, those little things add up. And that's one of the main reasons students with disabilities can't go to school.
Gotcha. Are there some schools that like make it a lot easier for people with disabilities than others? Do they have special programs?
Yeah, there are some programs. A lot of schools, have Office of Disability Services that help align and help students get assistive technology and provide them with accommodations. And also there's state vocational rehab programs that can help students with grants and help them pursue an education. But a lot of universities across the country, even though the Americans with Disabilities Act is over 30 years old, they still, a lot of them refuse and don't effectively work with students with disabilities. So yeah, I mean, it just really depends on the university and how accommodating they will be.
So part of the mission of 4002 and You is to bring light to the charity. So it's basically your message. How do we bring light to it? So if people want to get involved, where do they go? Obviously, you guys have a website. I'm looking at it right now. Tell us about your social media, your website, contact. Who do they get a hold of if they want to donate or they want to volunteer in any way?
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we partnered with the Erie Community Foundation. Right now, we've been using a lot of my social media platforms to spread the word, just because after my injury, I have a relatively big following in Erie County. So we've been just using my platforms to spread the word. We're also in the process of creating a Facebook group that's going to be up and running soon. And as I mentioned, with regards to the golf tournament, we're hoping, well, that we are going to have in July. We're really looking for volunteers with that. But I'm pretty much headlining all of the marketing and things like that for the scholarship fund. So if people want to get involved or people want to give back, we've been really just having everyone reach out to me directly, just because, it's more effective to just eliminate all the contacts and just go to me.
Okay, so how do people get directly to Ian?
Well, you can either reach out to me via Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or you can reach out to me via email, ianmalesiewski34@gmail.com. And any of those platforms, I'm always readily available, and that's the best way to contact me.
Okay, so Matty Bo's always got this be a dog stuff on him. He's always posting about be a dog. And my wife confused it a little bit. She turned it into get a dog, which turned into get two dogs. So now we got these extra dogs running around here. But
I just got one too.
There you go. What'd you get?
A French bulldog.
Oh, my wife loves bulldogs. She just, is it one of them like cute, like ugly, cute dogs?
Yeah, he's like so ugly, he's cute.
That's why she married me. Yeah. So tell us about Be a Dog, would you?
Yeah. So back when I first got injured, actually prior to being injured, just within the football team and wrestling team, I had this motto that I kind of started that was be a dog. And it actually came from the old Coastal Carolina football coach. He had this speech that he gave to his team. And basically it was, the world needs more dogs. And that was a symbolic way of saying, don't feel sorry for yourself, overcome the odds. And like when things get tough, just keep chugging along. And when I was in the intensive care and fighting for my life, when I was still in a medically induced coma, some of my classmates really started to spread the message of be a dog. And it kind of took off from there. It's kind of been the motto throughout my entire injury. And, my high school football team, Cathedral Prep, along with Matty Bow and some of my other best friends, really took this message and ran with it. And it's pretty amazing to see how far it's went. It's obviously been spread to the Notre Dame campus and football team with thanks to Matty Bow. And I spread it down here to the University of Miami football team. And Matty Bow's also connected me with players from other ACC schools, Jake Venables at Clemson. So it's really kind of just taken off. There's NFL players that wear the Be a Dog bracelets like James Conner. Trace McSorley was wearing one while he was at Penn State. So really, this message of don't feel sorry for yourself. And I think just a message of these college athletes and athletes are, realize how thankful they are. And, one thing Matty Bow and I always say is just play for those who can't. And, you never know when it could be your last play, your last time strapping it up. So this be a dog motto and this play for those who can't motto, has really been motivational to athletes across the country. And it's been really, really moving to me to just see how far it's taken off.
Well, Ian, I really appreciate you spending a few minutes with us and sharing your story. Thanks for participating with 4002 and You. We hope this donation helps, and we hope that we can shed some more light on the DefIANt Scholars Program.
Thank you so much. It really means a lot.
So it's Matt Bauer, Nate Brewer, and Ian Malesiewski with the DefIANt Scholars Program, and Be a Dog. All right, see you, buddy.